Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's Kickstart. I'm John Marquis, your Builder CPA, and we are here in QuickBooks at the dashboard. So we're going to be talking about reconciliations. So I recommend going over to reports and balance sheet, and we need to be doing a reconciliation for every financial institution that gives us a statement at the end of every month. So bank accounts, credit cards, and loans. Those are usually the top ones. Things like any kind of fixed assets or inventory assets, those probably don't receive a statement from any external party. So with that, let's take a look at what these reconciliations look like. So the balance sheet gives us an overview of approximately how many accounts we expect to need to have to reconcile. Now that I have this report open, a handy trick, just in case you're not aware, you can right-click on the tab at the top of your screen. You probably can't see my window right now, but you can duplicate the tab. So now I have two tabs with QuickBooks open, and one of them is the balance sheet, and now over here I'm going to go to the gear icon. There's a few different ways to get to reconciliations, but this is usually the way that I go, and then I'm going to reconcile. And I do recommend watching the little tutorial, making sure that your bank accounts are connected to the bank feed if they're not already. That definitely helps with the reconciliation process. And then we can go ahead and get started. And let's get reconciled, and we'll probably start with the checking account. So ideally you would open your statement and put in values here that match the statement exactly. And we're not actually trying to complete the reconciliation on this call right here, right now. What I'm trying to do is understand the items that are stale on this report. So these might be checks that you printed months ago that never cleared. There might be journal entries from a previous accountant who they've never been resolved. So once we have the report open, we really don't care what the ending balance is or what the difference is. I'm trying to understand the pains of years past. So there's no good way to export this report, so I'm going to go to this print button. And similar to how we've done with one of our other reports that we printed, it's going to think that we want to print to a piece of paper or a PDF, but I'm just going to close out of that, and I'm going to press Control A, Control C. So I've just copied all of the data on this page. You can select all of it however you want to do that. Then you could come up here and press the plus button. I'm going to press Control T, and then you guessed it, we're going to sheets.new. And now that I've unfrozen, I'm going to close this, and I'm just going to paste the report in here and highlight a column in my favorite color and add some notes. And I am most interested in items that are more than a month old. So I know for a fact right now I'm in July, and we're looking at transactions from March. My biggest question to you, if this is a check, is it going to clear? I guess my biggest question for any of the transactions, are we still expecting this transaction to clear? Basically, if it hasn't cleared by now, is it ever going to clear? And you might look at this and you might see like this bill payment here, which may have been a check. You might say, I will contact the vendor and reissue the check. That would be a perfectly fine explanation, and then we know that we don't need to clean it up. Then the next one, a deposit. This was already deposited. Maybe you deposited a couple checks together. We'll have to dive into that. But if it's showing as uncleared, we have to get it to a point where it is cleared. And for deposits, everyone wants their money, so I would be shocked if you have a deposit that remains uncleared 3 months later. And I guess it is possible if your reconciliations haven't been completed in a while, there might be some things on the list that simply need to be checked off or just matched with the bank feed. And once it gets matched with the bank feed, it will automatically come in with a status of the checkbox already checked. So we're going to do a tab for each of the accounts that need reconciliation. So we can close this, we can come back to our reconciliation screen. We can use this drop down to say close without saving, and then we can reconcile our next account. So just a reminder, we're looking at our balance sheet. We're going to reconcile anything that's at a bank and anything that is at a credit card and any other loan account. So like this loan payable. So then I would come in here and you can just type loan payable and put an ending balance, and same deal. Start reconciling, and then there's no transactions here. So we can just skip this one. Actually, there's nothing here. Close without saving. I'm not worried about any old items that are not there. Let's try the savings account. And now we can print and cancel out of the actual print screen. Control A to select all of it. Control C to copy. And then we'll come over here. We'll add a new tab. We'll call this savings. And then we will paste it in here. And then we will call this file reconciliations initial, as in the first one, for your company. And then you can use the blue button up here to invite me by email, jmarkee@mybuildercpa.com, or you can click the blue button and just copy the link to this workbook. Make sure that the permissions are enabled so that I'll be able to see it, and then you can submit the link with your Google form. As always, please reach out with any questions, and I can't wait to see you in our next Kickstart meeting. Have a great day.